you grew up in Santa Monica,
I did.
and I guess you started doing some acting in high school, like high school plays and so forth?
I couldn't do any high school plays because the first year of high school, my little group of girls in the theater arts class were always getting in trouble, and two other girls did something. One girl was cheating off another girl. I had nothing to do with any of it. I just was part of the group. They got caught, and they got fails and kicked out of the class. And myself and I think two other girls got D's in the class, and were kicked out, not only kicked out of the class, but kicked out of theater arts for the rest of our stay at the high school. And we're not allowed to participate in any of the productions. And that was my first year there, and all I wanted to do was act. Yeah, so I couldn't even, we were in dance ensemble. We would dance in front of the whole school, but we weren't allowed to audition for Oklahoma to even be dancers. It was a drag.
Okay, so did you do any acting in high school at all?
I didn't in high school. I mean, I got involved in a local, the Santa Monica Playhouse, a local theater group, you know, and did helped them, but I didn't act with them. I just did stuff around, you know, you'd help, and my one of my friends and I also helped build sets for another local theater. And so we helped build sets and sew costumes and stuff, just kind of volunteering. And then I found, when I was in high school, I found a workshop, maybe it was junior high school, an acting workshop. And we stumbled upon it, and it was actually an adult workshop. It wasn't just for young kids. And so it was very serious stuff. They were learning, you know, they were reading Uta Hagen and Stanislavski, and people were throwing things like cups at each other on stage. It was very intense. But they let us stay in the class as long as we were very serious, and we were. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot, and that was my foundation, was that experience. But I didn't start auditioning for theater or anything right away. It wasn't until in my later teens, I think, and then I started I lived in California, so I started automatically mostly going on television and film stuff because I was in LA. You know, if I were in New York, it probably would have been more theater, but there was very little theater in LA at the time.
You graduated high school, but
Yeah.
you didn't go to college.
No, I went to Santa Monica City College for a little while, and I took acting there. I did that. No, I pretty much started, right after that I started auditioning, like I said, and I started getting work in commercials and small roles in TV shows, and I got a horror film, and I just started doing little things here and there. And I was very serious about class and my workshop work.
Okay, because you were in Death Spa, the movie.
That you're very correct on. Unfortunately, yes.
You can't even find a Wikipedia page on this movie.
You can?
You cannot.
Oh, you can't? That's fine. That's all right.
You're happy with that.
That's all right.
Okay, so you're getting, I guess you were on the Bronx Zoo TV series?
Yeah. Ed Asner
and a couple
was
other,
on that.
you had parts on other TV series, and we did the Death Spa movie. But then you got an audition for the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yeah, changed a lot.
Was Quincy Jones involved in all the early stages?
Yeah, I had to audition for him. And
Okay.
I recently found my day planner that said, when I had to audition for Quincy Jones, because I was so excited and nervous and excited. And he was the most fun person to audition for, because he doesn't, he's not trying to be quiet, or he just like slaps the table and laughs and throws his head back, and he's just very relaxed. And it's nice to feel like Quincy Jones is laughing at what you want him to laugh at.
Oh yeah, no, I just met Quincy Jones for the first time
Oh,
a
yeah?
couple of weeks ago at a party, and along with his, I know his son QD3.
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
me and his son were talking about how Quincy Jones was the flyest guy in the room at like 80 or 90 years
Yep,
old.
yep.
Like his outfit was so on point that it made no sense. Like,
Yeah, he's great. I mean, you want to talk about legends? That's a legend.
right, because by the time he did Fresh Prince, he had already done Thriller,
Oh,
Off the Wall,
Yeah.
Bad,
And a lot before that, yeah.
and a lot before that. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is one of these absolute geniuses of
Yeah.
a generation that you just don't see very often.
No, I remember even when Oprah Winfrey, when we had Oprah Winfrey was on the Fresh Prince, and she was like a little girl around Quincy. They had, she adored him, and he was so sweet with her, and because they had worked together before, and she was just like a little kid, like with her. I remember she was sitting on something, and her legs were like swinging, and she's talking to him, and it was like a little kid. It was really sweet to see this very powerful woman look to him like that. It was nice.
Absolutely. So you go and audition for the Fresh Prince. What was that audition like, and what was the process involved in it?
It was long. It was long. Like I said, I found that day planner recently, and I was not wrong in my memory. It was I had to audition for. I did audition so many times. I had to audition for the assistant to the casting director, and then I had to go in and audition for the casting director, and then I had to audition for, I think, the writers, and then I had to audition for maybe Quincy Jones. And then I had to audition for the writers and producer, and then I had to audition for, I think, the studio, and then I had to audition for the network. I just had so many auditions. I had to keep going and going and going, and it was great. It was interesting. The last experience when you go and audition for the network, it's always really interesting because that's the last audition, and so it's you and the other girl that's auditioning for the part opposite you. And you kind of, and then there's, two Uncle Phils, and there's two Aunt Vivs, and, this whole thing. And so it's kind of nerve-wracking for everybody because you see everybody, how it's going to come down to the wire. And, it's hard not to look at the other girl and go, oh, look at her, I should have wore that, and I should have done this, and she's right for it, and start to, mess with your mind.
So you and the other Hilary had to basically have a fight to the death to get that role.
She's a really nice girl. She's a really nice girl. But she had done some stuff that I knew that was she'd done like a big film, and so I was very intimidated by her presence, and she's really beautiful. So, but it was fortunate.
How did you feel when you finally got it?
Oh my God. I mean, that was unreal. That was unreal. And it always felt really good when you go in. There's such a great group of people, and I'm still in touch with so many of the people, like Andy Borowitz and Susan Borowitz, who created it. And I mean, I still, see them, and it always felt good. I went into when we started doing the show and meeting this great cast and having wonderful chemistry and all of that being good. It was just such a good experience throughout. But getting that notice, that word, I remember I was working as a hostess at a restaurant called Delmonico's in LA, and I got the word on the phone when I just showed up. I was at work, and I got the notice, and I had to stay there at work, kind of was like going out of my skin, going crazy because I had just got this show. And then my boss, a friend of mine, came in just out of the blue. She just kind of walked in to say hi and visit. And my boss was like, get out of here, go hang out, celebrate, and kicked me out. So that was good.